Okay, so before we get to Q&A part, let's get into some hot topics that I know a lot of people are interested in. AMC, shout out to my guy Charlemagne the God. He hit me. He's a big movie enthusiast, and
he got in.
Yeah, he invested in that. So AMC is one of these things. It's like GameStop, and it's interesting. Shout out to Kenny Burns. I was talking about on his show today. AMC stock is up 500% in the last 30 days. It is on a unprecedented run. And the reason why I say it's like the GameStop situation is it's a lot of similarities to it. They actually made up a new term where they're calling these things meme stocks, where groups online decide to, this is the stock that we want to pump, and it pumps. And it's not just stock, crypto. We saw it happen with a couple cryptocurrencies, Dogecoin being the most popular, but it wasn't just Doge. It was a few other ones. And it's been, happened with, the BlackBerry situation, the AMC, GameStop. AMC is the latest one. So it's technical analysis, fundamental analysis does not support a 500% increase. People are still not going back to movie theaters in droves like that. They still have financial issues. In under normal circumstances, AMC stock would not be up 500% in 30 days. But this is the new world that we live in. And it's not something that we can dismiss because even GameStop, the stock is still up. It has not fallen.
A bunch of analysts say like this is a $9 stock. This is a $10 stock. Well, it hasn't really come back under 120, 140. So
I mean, it's a new way of trading. It's actually a $280 stock, and it was up $31 today, and it's up $5 in after hours. So, hey, one thing about you can't be a dinosaur, and you can't be afraid to embrace what's going on in the world, and whether you like it or not, it's happening. And it's lasted a lot longer than most people thought, including myself. This GameStop situation, it's staying up, and AMC might be the next one to have that type of run.
I was showing you a statistic right before we came on. I was like looking at the insider trading, and so if you look at the history of AMC in the past 5 years, they've had 3 insiders trade in the past 5 years. Right, last year, 2020, not one insider sold stock, not one. This year, 2021, they've had 9 insiders trade. I thought it was kind of funny because they had a list of the people who actually sold off. And so it shows them their title. And so you have the CFO. He sold 45,000 shares in the second quarter. He sold it at $9.49. I'm like, wow. Had he just waited maybe a month, right, and it ran up to 60, he's looking at a totally different situation. But this is the chief financial officer, so
because he knows that it wasn't justified.
Exactly,
it wasn't justified to be $9.
Exactly, he's like, I'm out of it. Let me take profit now. But then you had a couple other people, a couple of other officers that sold at 62 and sold at 57 and sold at 33, and so people on the insider trading, it's like this is new.
It's one of the most shortest stocks on Wall Street. Short sellers are down $2 billion, I believe, so far this year. I think like 15% of the stock is being shorted. So people are still betting that the stock is going to go down. People still think that, it's only a matter of time before this thing falls apart. But it hasn't. So how do we feel about this AMC situation? Ian, what's your thoughts?
You guys got to go look at who is holding it long term and why. Once again, like last month it was Doge and every crypto. I want you guys to notice every month they're rotating now. That's what I tell you. You can't chase rotation because it'll rotate you right into poverty. Last year, cyclical, consumer cyclical, great tech. Now it's crypto, meme stock. They're never going to tell you ahead of time what to invest in. AMC will probably top out around like $80.04 flat, and then start to slide down. But you guys need to go look and see what institutions and people that work in hedge funds that are holding AMC and why. It's the same game.
Did the purple ball just come out? I think the purple ball just came out.
Just letting everybody know. So, but good trade, and that's why I tell everyone. I know you guys think I'm a one-trick pony, and that was part intentional in my brand to let you only think that I only know about indexes. is going to continue to go up. But what they're not saying on the underside of this, how bad the economy is messed up. The reason why they're rotating from crypto to meme stocks, because over the next 2 or 3 years, they know that the environment won't be as easy, and they're trying to front run all the gains they can now. That's the other side of the game that they're not telling you about. Is AMC worth 80? No. But if the price goes there, you probably should look to take profit either at $80.04 or at $71.33. Take profit, have a good trade, and enjoy. Jorge did. Like, Jorge doesn't care if AMC goes out of business because you already took profit. Great job.
I'm glad you said take profit, Ian, because a lot of people have hit us up, and especially hit my DM up, and it's like, I told you, and I'm like, great trade, not mad at it. I'm always happy if you make money, but where are you gonna get out at, right? Because then when it hit 62, next day it pulled back 18%, and it was like, oh my gosh,
and people panicked.
Real quiet. It got real quiet. And I'm like, well, you had an opportunity, right? Where was your out before you entered the position? Where was your out? And so if you knew that going in, then you had a decent trade. So I'm glad you said that. Take profit, know where you're going to get out before you enter position. But
and same with GameStop. It's same thing with GameStop. Apple is 125. GameStop is at 280. Do we honestly believe that GameStop is more valuable than Apple? You can't play the same manipulation kind of games with Apple or Microsoft or AMD as you could AMC or GameStop though. But if you're making money from it, I'm elated. Just know where you're going to exit.
Yeah. And that's one of the things. It's like, well, how do I know when? How do I know? I text you earlier. I'm like, I look at the volume, right? If you see what the volume number is when you looking into these positions, it's like, there's a lot of volume here. All right, well, let's look at the chart. Like, obviously the fundamentals aren't going to match up, but let's look at the technical analysis. Does this even make sense? And a lot of times it doesn't, but this is a new way of trading. I saw our guy, Chris Brown, talking about, he's like, look, retail trading is not your grandfather's retail trading. It's a whole new game now. So
we got to get adjusted to the volume, but this has happened before. Anybody that's traded Forex or traded penny stocks back in the day, the same thing happened. Tim Sykes led that wave, and people criticize him for it. But it's no different. Reddit just became the community, a group that floated something up. Anybody that's traded longer than 2 years, you've seen this happen before. People can call it market manipulation. You can call it momentum. This has happened before. It happened with WorldCom and happened with Enron. That's why I tell you guys, if you go study, it's literally like playing the same team over and over, but just in a different uniform. This has happened thousands of times before. Anybody ever traded the Euro USD and you've seen the market fall apart and you've seen like the manipulation, et cetera, right? Crypto, it happened in 2016. So for those of you that were in Bitcoin, GBTC went up, but BTSC went down. Same underlying asset, but one shot up to the moon and one fell to the floor. I'm telling you, like, most of these quote unquote retail traders are institutional people trading out of their personal account with insider information and floating it up. Like, it's no, now even with crypto at the Miami conference, shout out to everybody that was at the Miami conference. All of a sudden, everyone hates Elon. But last week, what would Pimp C say? If it was Elon and Bitcoin when everything was good, it got to be Elon and Bitcoin when everything is bad. Like, you have to look and understand that how the game is being played. This has happened historically over and over and over again. And usually it's at the signs of a weak economy. It's a bunch of institutional guys doing this, not Pipmaster98 on Instagram doing this. But I'm going to let everybody think what they want to think, and then we'll see in a couple months.
Yeah, and then, everybody's got their own strategy, so you can do what you want. That's the great part of life. Everybody's an expert on Instagram.
Absolutely. Network's different, though. And Naked, we got to talk about Naked as well.
Right. But what? Yeah, Charlemagne. What I was talking to Charlemagne, and shout out to him because he did it before I even told him. I'm like, yo, you should take your initial investment out at least, and then he's kind of like, yeah, I already did that. So
yeah,
you just got to have different protections in place when you playing with these situations, because I mean, it's a difference between a hustle and an investment. It's a nice hustle, and I respect the hustle. Can't knock the hustle. Jay said that in '96, but just understand what it is. Don't fall in love with it. You can't fall in love with an investment. That's like one of the number one rules. You can't have an emotional attachment to an investment. So I noticed that people have strong emotional attachments to investments these days.
Got to take the emotion out of it.
they become mascots for. But make your money, but just, be careful and understand your exit strategy. Take profits. You can never lose by taking a profit.
Yeah.
Never. You can never lose. Nobody has ever lost by taking a profit.
Yeah, I think what makes it interesting too is that the excitement around it brings more people into the space. And so now the people that you never would have thought of looking at the stock market are now asking about AMC. And it's like, well, where did you hear it? And like, oh, my friend at work made money from it. And so like we always say the same thing. Good trade. I'm not sure if it's a great long-term investment. And we just got to know the difference between the two. If you make money on it, great. If you can capitalize and take out your initial investment, great. More power to you. It's not a knock on us.
Yeah,
trust me.
I'm gonna
go back to make money.
I'm gonna go back to the real estate investors because they get a lot of insight, and I feel like they understand markets a lot better. Notice whenever stocks become the hottest thing on earth, it's inside of a bubble. 99, 2000, 2001, 05, 07, 08, 2010, 2016, 2020. When the market is calm and the economy is good, no hedge fund managers going on Bloomberg, RT News, seeking alpha and giving any insights. Bland statements. Then when the market is hot and you need to move the market around a little bit, they're a little bit more active. Go look at the years in which we've had a bubble and then see, even do this as a homework assignment. Go Google when stock searches on Google were the highest. Why was nobody talking about this 2 months ago when everyone was on crypto? Like, the insiders normally give the information for people to buy into it so they can then liquidate. Because it's easier if I have a limit order set at 55. If you guys push it to 72 and I have 300,000 shares, it's guaranteed that I'll be able to get out and not get pinched with insider trading. Because I was 20 points or 30 points off the marker for where the stock actually went. I got out earlier than everyone. It's a game inside of a game. If you ever watch Billions, you've seen it. But be careful. Know the difference between a good trade and a good investment.